are live. Hello and welcome to the stream, everybody. Hello and welcome to the stream, everybody. All right, let me stop that. Perfect. Let me hear some sound now. Change from full screen to standard. Perfect. That way I can actually go back and forth. Hey, what's up, buddy? Let me. How's that compared to my voice? Yeah. Hang on. What about now? Cut it down to less than half for the audio being pumped in. We sound good. We sound crispy. Where am I at, Coda? Where am I at? Here we go. Sorry, I probably need to do that so you can hear the game music. We're gonna do balanced because, of course. Good. Okay. Let me do. I don't know what that was. Sheesh. You hate to see it. Literally. Don't reset. Wyll. What a perfect name, right? Like, Wyll, short for Willisk. And he just happens to be black. My guy. Let's go. And he's the class that I want to play as a warlock, so it really just works out well. But this is Baldur's Gate 3. This is character creation. You have your origin characters that you can start with that have like basically a pre-existing story throughout the game. And you can also find these characters within game. So even if you don't pick them yourself, you can have them join your party as companions, and that way you can kind of experience their story from a third person as well. So that's kind of cool. But today we're going to be playing Wyll. He is known as a Blade of Frontier. Wyll uses magic to fell the monsters and devils menacing the Sword Coast. In a moment of desperation, he accepted an offer of greater power, forcing him into an infernal game he is struggling to play. Ooh, spooky. He is a warlock, but we are going to change a couple things. I don't want that. I do want friends. Friends is a powerful thing for roll checks for charisma. So if you're in dialogue with somebody and a roll check comes up, this is great to have because it adds something to it. Let me see. I don't think it'll tell you. Okay, yeah, roll 2 dice. So you basically get 2 chances on your dice rolls. And it takes the higher of the 2. So always nice. Subclass is a fiend. You can't change any of this because it's a story character. So these are just kind of baked in. If you wanted to kind of go through and change all this stuff, you'd have to make a custom character, or you'd have to make a Dark Urge. Dark Urge can be, your appearance and class can be fully customized. You can go through and choose, you know, any race that you want for Dark Urge. Subraces, classes, bards, clerics, druids, rangers, etc. But with the Dark Urge, there is some interesting interactions and dialogue choices, and it's pretty crazy to play as Dark Urge. If you don't like some crazy randomness, I would avoid the Dark Urge, but it's definitely a fun playthrough to go through. So keep that in mind. But we are doing well today, or tonight. This is going to, I think, become my main character, honestly. I think I'll probably beat the game with this character, hopefully. Let's go ahead and remove that. Let's put friends back on. Can't change my subclass, but Fiend is what I would have done anyways. I want to take both of those off. I want to take Burning Hands and Hellish Rebuke as my 2 spells. Burning Hands being a close range sort of fire skill, and Hellish Rebuke being a reaction. So if someone attacks me, I can basically automatically deal damage back. 2d10, so 2 dice rolls of 10. The die being 1 to 10, and that's where you get that 2 to 20. So if you see something that says 2d10, you'll roll 2 dices of 10, and then that's what you get for your damage output. And then here at the bottom it says it's affected by dex, so whatever the person's dex is will determine how well this spell does on them. So fun stuff, but I'm not going to get too much into that. Do I want to change these? I'll keep. So these are based off of, so having an odd number here is kind of not beneficial because it only affects on every even number. So if you look here, it says +1 to saving throws, +1 to intelligence checks, etc. If I change this to 13, I still get those same benefits. But if I were to change it to 14, which would be the next even number, then it would go up to +2. So keeping something on +13 is not super beneficial. But the higher you get with your skill points, the less you can sort of, so like to go from like if I take 1 away from this, I can't add it to this because to go from 13 to 14, I need 2 ability points. So I think that's why it's spread out the way it is. I could easily drop charisma because I'm not gaining anything from 17. I would actually get those 2 ability points back there, and then I can put it into intelligence. And then what that allows me to do is later on I can oh, no kidding, I didn't know they got Baldur's Gate 3. I can get feats. Every 4 levels you get feats, and one of them lets you add some points into your skills. So you can change these up, and then you can always reroll at your camp. I will keep Arcana. Persuasion is fine. I don't want Intimidation because I already have Persuasion, so it's just I'd rather do the Persuasion route, and I want to add it to maybe Investigation. Yeah. Maybe Investigation. I can't do this with an offhand one, can I? No. This has to be a main one, so I'd do Persuasion there. Yeah, I'll have somebody else do Perception. Yeah, I'll keep Investigation, Arcana. Because I'm going to have other characters that can handle, like the Perception, which is, you know, finding hidden things throughout the world. So, yeah, we take off Intimidation, put it onto Investigation, because that's just what I personally want. So now we have our Wyll set up, at least the way that I want to have them. And we are going to start the game. And we also have to pick a Guardian. I usually go with Elf because, let's be real, she's a baddie. So we're going with Elf. And I usually just keep her on her default. You can randomize the appearance. You could change it to a guy if you wanted to, or a taller, more broad-shouldered girl or guy. But I usually just keep it on the default for Elf, and that's what I like to have as my Guardian. Keep it simple. Let's venture forth. Do. I'm actually going to skip this. This is the beginning story. Cinematics. We'll skip those. Put the audio a little higher. Make up your mind, boy. I'm just kidding. Alright, so now we are waking up on the Mind Flare ship after we just had that creepy worm put into our eye. And the ship has... It's not crashed, but it is crashing. It was attacked by some tieflings riding on dragons. And there's a whole backstory into that I honestly won't do it justice trying to explain, so I'm not.
Forget it. I've got a quarry to catch. Damn it, Karlach. Where have you gotten to?
So the reason I chose investigation is for things like this. So when you click on something or interact with objects, you'll have checks that you can roll on. So one of them is investigation. So because I added the proficiency, you'll see I gain +2 from investigation proficiency, and then +2 for my intelligence that I have. So it'll roll a 1d20 dice, and then whatever that roll is, it'll automatically add 4 because of my proficiency in intelligence. And then we'll see here. So difficulty class is what I need to roll. So I need to roll a 10 or higher, but because I have these two, technically I only need to roll a 6 or higher. So we'll see what I get. That is just a tragedy. So we failed that that check. So this is what happens when you fail a dice roll. And this is just unfortunate because that was our first, but later on in the game, you can get rerolls from being inspired and having inspiration, which we'll talk about that when it comes up. But there you go. I failed my first dice roll. This is going to be the best run ever. So we're just going to leave because we failed our investigation. Excuse me. Check out the ship. We see some Eldritch tablets. So I've actually played through this beginning portion quite a bit. I didn't play early access, but this is maybe my 3rd or 4th character. I haven't been able to decide who I want to play, but I think Will's going to be the one, hopefully. So I've only seen like maybe the first 3 or so hours of the game. So I'm kind of going to not blow through it, but kind of just go quickly through the first 3 hours of stuff because I've just seen it so many times. And then up here you can see like save failed perception. So I didn't have high enough perception to check whatever that was. So I don't know what that is. That's why it's good. And then I have my Arcana,
a minion of the mind flayers who abducted you,
which gives me a little background. So this is one of the little crawling brain creatures. So
remove us from this body, from this case. Free us.
Let's see. So dexterity. I don't have good strength, so whatever I'd roll would be -1, which is not good. Dexterity is not bad, but it's only +1. But I have investigation, which would be a +4 to my roll. So this is my best bet. So once again, I have to roll a 10 or 6 or higher with my bonuses. So 15. Perfect. We succeeded.
A swelling of the brain causing pressure where it strains against the shell of the skull.
So let's see if I can. So because of my success on my investigation, I now have an advantage on this dice roll. So I'll roll 2 d20 dice, and then it'll use the highest from that roll. So I think that's still the best one that I have. So we need to have a 10. So one of these needs to be a 10 or higher. Let's see what we get. 16 was our highest. Perfect.
The brain lifts from the skull, but you notice an opportunity. You could cripple the strange creature, making it more subservient, should it prove a threat.
So this is if I want to basically weaken it in case I feel like I need to kill it later, but I'm gonna spare it.
We are free.
The creature.
And now he's going to be friendly-ish to us for now because our sort of goals align. So we're on the same team, and that's gonna be my first follower. So let's go back down. These are the dragons that attacked our ship, and that's why everything's as crazy as it is.
Abomination. This is your end.
Your head throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword, and a flash of your face seen through the strange woman's eyes. honor thrall. Vlaakith blesses me this day.
Alright, so we're just gonna...
First, we extend
This is going to be our first fight, so you can kind of see how combat works. So everybody rolls initiative at the beginning of combat, and initiative just decides the turn order. So all three of us rolled higher initiative than the imps did. And when we're all together like this, you can kind of pick and choose who you want to go first. So if you had like a spellcaster and you wanted to do an AoE spell, I would recommend doing that first, because you don't want your close range fighters to be up where the AoE spell is. So there's definitely some strategy and planning that goes into it, but I'm gonna have him go over here and attack this one. Nice, he killed it with a pro. And he still has that movement left, but move him and we'll end his turn. I will take mine. Let's see if I can kill him with an Eldritch Blast. I did. Perfect.
2 steps at a time.
I'm not close enough for a flourish, but that's fine. Let's see if she can make it. She can't, but she has a bow. Actually, she can do this. And I missed, but we have an extra action we can take. We got a crit and we dazed it, but it's still able to attack on the next turn, so. And they missed as well too, so that works. Let's go ahead and use my guy. So every time I get a kill on an enemy, I get Dark One's Blessing, which gives me +4 to my HP, a temporary +4 bonus. So it's always nice. Let's get some looting real quick, because we're gonna need money later on.
Heading out.
Take that gold. Take those. Definitely take those.
Have we here?
Go ahead and heal up. Perfect.
I feel refreshed. I better hurry before those dragons bring the ship down, and me with it.
Just take all this stuff for now.
Touch nothing without knowing its purpose.
So you can actually read these sigils. This is Unleash.
I can't figure out this.
Failed that one.
Can't read this.
Failed that one.
I can't unleash.
So that one will unleash them. Let's see what Unleash does.
Psionic energy radiates from the prisoners, but they do not react.
So I'm assuming we release them from whatever.
They've gone hostile.
And then if we click that
Did the
one,
machine do that?
they wake up. So I actually want to do this so I can get some extra experience points from them. Just every bit of experience helps.
No holding back.
And that turn, let me get into better positioning. And I missed. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna keep him back. Turn.
Taking position.
She can sort of walk. Get a 7 on him, and I can actually use this. Perfect. Got some extra experience, and we get some loot.
We have no time for stragglers. The magic's configuration is like nothing. Are you satisfied? We need to go. Hurry!
This better be good. What's this now?
A dazed woman.
2 steps at a time. This could mean anything.
As you place your hand on the pod, you hear something. A presence connected to the pod, commanding the person inside to change.
Changed at the pull of a lever. How? If we are not purified, this may be our fate.
Alderan's beard. Is that our fate?
The console appears dormant. The mechanisms are completely unrecognizable at first, but then you spy an empty socket.
Interesting. Looks like it needs something to activate it. A perfect fit for those pod controls.
The console appears. The console hums, but what is its purpose? Will it free the captive? Or suddenly you feel a hideous squirming in your head. A parasite. Then discomfort fades, and another sensation washes over you. Connection. Authority. You feel the biomechanical brain of the console process your command and yield to it. A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated.
At last. I thought that damn thing was...
Your mind lurches into her thoughts.
Ah! My head. Trust me. I'll keep up. Shadowheart. One moment.
Finally.
She's right.
We are nearing the helm.
Who put you in charge? I'll trust my own judgment.
Cane Yank.
fleet of foot.
On the move. What should I do? Moving.
Coming through.
No time to waste. This is your end. Can't give up. Not now.
Ignore the devil. We must take the transponder.
Can't give up. Need to act fast.
Take this ship, or Zarya will have his head!
Need to stay focused.
Come a little closer.
Roll them in the sticks!
Let my name be known. Ready.
It's your turn now.
Furious.
The helm's alien transport.
Welcome everybody to the stream. This is just a long play of a new character, Wyll. And unfortunately, I was unable to kill the commander. You can kill him, and I have. When I played my Bard, I was able to kill him because of the debuffs and buffs that Bard gets. But I was unable to do it with my Warlock. Unfortunate. You do get an achievement if you kill him, which is nice. And you get a cool flame sword, which is also nice. At least early game to have. Oh, that's just creepy to look at.
It hurts just to think, but you need to get your bearings. You went to Avernus as a hunter, but you've left it as prey. Not to devils, but to the tadpole in your brain. Perhaps you need to help her before she can return the favor. High time you got back to the hunt.
This better be good. A word, if I may.
You're alive. I'm alive. How is this possible? I remember the ship. I remember falling. Then nothing. No, I don't recognize this place. But first things first, we need supplies, shelter, and most of all, a healer. We might have escaped, but we still have these little monsters in our heads. We need each other, and we both know what's at stake. Can't think of better company.
Sheesh. She wants me. I ain't mad at you.
One thing, just before we go. I wanted to thank you again for freeing me. It would have been all too easy for you to run right past my pod, but you didn't. I'll remember that.
You right?
Lead the way.
One move ahead.
All right, let's see what hat roll I get. Let me get the good one. Hey, old floppy hat. Boy's got the drip. Hold on. Where's my floppy hat? There it is. Look at the guy. That's the drip right there. You didn't know that Baldur's Gate drip game would be that strong, but it is. But it is. Grab this murgrass. Grab some fish. So under food, you'll see things called camp supplies. So the way Baldur's Gate 3 works is spellcasters in particular, and really any class, so you'll have a limited amount of spells and things you can use. So for Warlock, it's nice because it says recharge on a short rest, so I don't have to take a full rest. This guy's so you don't have to take a full rest to recharge Warlock spells, which is pretty nice. But for wizard spells and sorcerer spells and things like that, you actually have to do a full long rest to get all of your spell cast back. And of course, as you level up, you'll get more. Like, you get quite a bit more, but you start off pretty low. So a long rest, you can see camp supplies 132 of 40. So for a long rest, you need to have 40 supplies. So it's that really incentivizes you to search through the world, find stuff so that you can camp and get your stuff back. So you really do want to be kind of looking through everything. And a good way to do that is to hold down left alt, which will sort of just highlight things that you can interact with. And then if you hold down shift, you can kind of see where you're moving, and then you'll also be able to see enemy sight lines, which I'll show you here shortly. But let's read this sad letter. He was supposed to meet his girl here. Look at this. Meet tomorrow and say it again and again and keep on saying it till we're old and gray. So let's do it. Let's go to Baldur's Gate. I know it's risky, but so staying here. The last few months have been hard, but they're always a little easier when you're there. Leave your boat and meet me at the hill overlooking the old bridge. Bring whatever you can carry. We'll make do without the rest. Don't be late. Love, Anna. And dude is just sitting here dead. So leave your boat and meet me at the hill overlooking the old bridge. I'm going to see if I can find this chick. So I'm going to take this perfume letter to kind of remind me. So I'm guessing we're at the docks now. So this would have been his boat. So I'm curious of what old bridge she's mentioning. But if I run across anything like that, I will kind of check it out. See if I can find good old Anna. Let's grab that fish.
I love surprises.
Let's check these barrels. If you got anything. Gold, always. Always nice to have gold. Thieves' tools, always nice. So for lockpicking and things like that, you need thieves' tools. And every time you fail, you use a thieves' tool. So it's always good to collect those. Gold Fisher. This is a waypoint, meaning we can teleport back to this area by opening our map and clicking on it. Let me see if I can get a roll to open this door. Probably not, since my stealth is not great. And yeah, it's a 20 roll, so I'd have to get basically a max roll, either 19 or 20, which I'm not gonna try. Oh, but this actually brings me into why Shadowheart is so good. So she has guidance, which adds a d4 roll on top of your roll. So if you put that on there, you'll see your total bonus is anywhere from 2 to 5. So +1 from the dexterity, all the way up to +5 from this. So whatever that second dice roll is, it could either be, you know, 1 all the way to a 4. So she's really good to have, or rather just that skill guidance is really good to have on one of your characters just for that, because it helps in every skill check. So it's just very universal like that. I'm gonna grab this. So we have 2 enemies up ahead. So if I hold down shift, I can see their sight lines. So if I walk into this red, they'll be alerted, but actually let me level her up real quick while I'm thinking of this, because I don't want her just running around as level 1. Nice. So you don't get to pick anything, you just get new stuff. So from 10 health to 17, she gets an extra spell slot, which you can see here, which are restored on long rest. So when she uses up all her spell slots, we actually have to set up camp, have a long rest for her to be able to use spells again. So if you're playing a spellcaster, that's something to keep in mind, but I really wouldn't, it's not that big of a deal. Once you get later into the game, you can easily long rest after every big sort of main encounter, maybe every 2, depending on, you know, what you have to do in the fight. So I don't think of that as like a huge hindrance to keep you from playing a spellcaster. She also gets her class thing because she's a cleric. She has these special things called channel divinity charges. So that'll kind of go into some of her skills as well. That'll consume that charge. And then she has some turn undead, which this is one of those skills that would use that channel divinity. So at the bottom of that skill card, you see it takes an action point and it takes this channel divinity. And then it will be able to turn all undead creatures that can see. Pray to turn all undead that can see you. What is turn? In fact, the enemy must move away from the creature that turned it. It can't take actions, bonus action reactions other than dash or try to escape. So that's cool. So if I'm fighting any undead enemies and any enemy that can see me, I use this on, they basically get feared away. Useful. Prepare spells. This is actually a good one. I'm probably want to pick up Bless. Healing Word is fantastic. This is a 60-foot heal, and this works on people who are downed. So if you have an ally who's down, usually you would have to run over to them and then pick them up. With this, you can literally just cast it across the map and pick them up with this. So this is actually a fantastic thing to keep on. I would always recommend having this in your party on one of your characters because it's that great. Cure Wounds is bad, but it's melee, so you literally have to be standing next to them for this to work. So I'm probably going to take that off. Don't really care about Shield of Faith. Guiding Bolt is fantastic. This is also fantastic. Inflict Wounds. These are 2 very high damage spells, especially for only level 2. Being able to dish out potentially 30 or 24 damage is fantastic. This one being at range, this one being close range. So I'm going to keep both of those. That's fantastic. We're going to keep that. I might do... I don't want to do Bane. I might do Bless. So she can bless basically the whole party minus herself. So you can bless up to 3 creatures and they gain an additional dice, D4 dice roll to their attacks or saving throws. So that's actually pretty good to have in a fight. So we're going to, and it lasts 10 turns as long as she can remain concentration. So concentration skills are basically, if you take any damage, you'll do a dice roll as a saving throw to see if you can remain concentration. If not, it gets broken and then you lose that bonus. So yeah, it can last up to 10 turns, but if 1 turn later she gets hit out of concentration, then you would lose that effect. So kind of a give and take there. Attack spires, aberration, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. I don't really care about these other ones, so I think I'll just take that. So we took off the shield and we added Bless, which I think is just more versatile and we can use it on more people. So let's go ahead and do that. Accept. Now she is level 2. And I feel a little bit better. So if we look at our sort of detection range, as long as I stay out of it. Oh, I didn't even realize I hit it, but oh well, I guess I hit it. I could have snuck there, but the chance of us both passing sneak checks while in their vision is pretty low because we're not spec'd into that.
The pride of the gate.
Let me just check a couple more things before I engage that fight. That's the other thing. Just because those enemies spotted me, they sort of ran away first, and they're set up red, over there. So now that they're red, they're hostile. So the second that I walk into their vision now is when the fight will begin. So they're kind of keeping guard on the continuing path out that way and up that way. So eventually I will have to fight them, but I don't have to fight them at this moment. So I'm choosing not to. But I have the attack symbol on. That's weird. I don't know why that's staying there. That shouldn't be there. Let me check this. I think I've gotten pretty much everything else that I can within the stretch of each. Yeah, so you can't really progress until you kind of go through that path. So it's a forced fight. I'm sure there's ways that you can probably get around it, as are most things in this game. You can kind of, like, if you had a skill that could potentially let you jump higher, you probably could get up here. Can I get up here? Oh, I probably can actually. So I could probably avoid that fight, honestly. Which, I've never done this, so this is what I'm gonna do. I've never been up here. This is new to me. I've never actually decided to come up here, but there's a chest up here. Look at that. Fire resistance. And a copper band. Let's go. I'm glad I decided to try something new. Let's check out what's up here. I haven't... Does this bypass? Yeah, that bypasses that whole fight. Huh. That's actually pretty cool. I wonder if I have enough jump skill to get up there, though. I do. Let's go. Look at that. So I thought it was a forced fight, but I didn't even have to take that fight. That's one of the things that I love about Baldur's Gate, is there's always, like, several ways to approach a situation. And then a perfect example is kind of coming up over here at this chapel. There's several ways that you can approach this bandit group that's up here. So if you look at this cracked floor right here and then the stone hanging above them, you could shoot this down with an arrow and it'll automatically kill both those guys, leaving only two. There's a guy standing over here and that spellcaster left to deal with. Or you could pass like a persuasion check to just get them to walk away from the fight so you don't have to fight them at all. Or you could, you know, go around this back way, sneak up on him, push him off. Like, there's so many different ways you can approach a fight. Or you could just bypass them altogether, take this side path over here, and then lockpick that hatch and just kind of skip that whole interaction together. So there's so many different paths and twists and turns to take. Like, this game has such good replayability value just for that. So I don't have a shovel yet. So you can't dig up any dirt mounds before you get a shovel, but you can get one very early in the game. You just have to go over here. So I'm gonna go grab a shovel real quick actually. I'm gonna go get a fighter. That chick that I was with earlier. We can get her in the party right now actually. And then we can also get a Asterion before I go and do that fight. This is Gale. He's stuck in this hole. I don't like Gale.
Watch the sigil on the stone.
A hand? Anyone?
Yes, a disembodied hand sticking its arm through a portal. Easily.
Whatever you're doing is working wonders. Now a quick little pull should do the trick. Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep. Apologies. Usually better at this. At magic. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the Norse Lloyd as well. I don't know what transpired exactly. I was recognized. How about you? How did you survive the fall? Fair enough. But even back on the ship, you two were on the receiving end of a rather unwell. The insertee. You don't have.
Yeah, I'm not letting him join my team because I just
But I find myself hoping to be in the presence of
personally don't
established.
like him
Going to need a healer.
and his backstory. I mean, he's a cool character,
How about
but
we
he
lend
is
each other a
super
helping hand once more and look for a
annoying
healer together?
and
Are you certain? There might be danger around the next. You're quite significant.
yeah, not my favorite person. So I'm gonna skip adding him to my team.
Dead goblins over there. Worth checking for supplies, maybe.
Let me turn on Beast Speak in case I do come across any animals. Let me loot these goblins. So we'll take that. Let me go get my fighter, and then I'll go get a Starian after that. So and I'll get that shovel as well. So Wyll, however you say her name, she's up here. And see, this is like another way that you can also go to get into the chapel. That's what I'm saying. There's just so many different ways. And that was like, that was on that crazy. You just sneak up to him and push him off. I mean, there's just so many ways you can approach a situation.
Zoru was right.
The thing's dangerous. Leave it for the goblins to kill.
And if it escapes?
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips don't move, yet you hear her voice.
Get rid of them.
Let's do a deception. Well, I don't want to do that. So this is kind of why it's good to have multiple speech options, is for situations like this. So because even though I can roll higher in persuasion, it would start a fight with these tieflings, and then you'd have to choose a side. Obviously I want her on my team, so I would choose her side, so I'd have to kill those tieflings, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to try and line my way out of it. But I have +3 on charisma, and it's only a 10, plus I get the bonus from my own bonus, which gives me my 2 dice rolls. And then I have Shadowheart on my team, so she can give me a guidance bonus, which gives anywhere from a 1 to 4 roll. So I'm pretty confident that we can get through this skill check. Yep, see, we rolled a 19. That's why it's good to have the second die. Perfect.
He's right. Let's go. We need to check out that blast. You didn't hear it. Shook our camp good, so we came for a look.
A camp, you say?
Northwest. Look for Nettie. Whatever your wound, she can mend it.
And be careful. There are goblin traps everywhere.
Nymessa, come.
Nymessa, come.
Enough gawking. Get me down. Never.
I'll get no please, no nothing. I guess I could get her down.
The tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious. But the longer we wait, the more it consumes. My people possess the cure for this infection. I must find a creche. You will join me.
Sheesh.
She obviously sees your kindness as weakness. Don't let her take advantage.
You may as well suggest a wyvern bow to worms. The cure I offer will suffice as thanks.
Chick is rude.
You have made an ally from Kresh Kalir. Few know such fortune. Call me Lae'zel.
I'll trust your judgment, but I won't trust her. Not until I've gotten the measure of her.
You've a sharp tongue, elf. Would that your mind proved its equal.
Half-elf. I suppose the finer details are lost on a creature like you.
Sheesh.
Come. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. One there, this Zoru, has seen Githyanki. A creche must be near. We will ask this Zoru where he has seen my kin.
Alright, let's level her up. Alright. Expanding the team. This leads back to the chapel, which I don't want to go there yet. I want to get that shovel that I'll need for digging stuff up. Is there anything up here? It's weird they have this little alcove here. Guess not. Then we can also do that battle I skipped as well, because I need to go over there to get Asterion, which is the other character that I want on my team, at least for the moment.
I hear shouting up ahead.
We should check it out, but be careful.
I don't want to check out that shouting just yet. Want this chest. Ooh. Nice. We're gonna go down here.
A hero at heart.
There's the annoying Gale. We'll go get Asterion real quick. So Astarion's gonna play my rogue slash thief slash lockpicker, etc., etc., etc. He's gonna fill that role for me.
Footprints. There may be even more that survived the crash.
So team composition is very important in this game. It's gonna make a big difference on how well you're able to progress through the battles. There's already several videos on it, but a good thing to keep in mind is it's always good to have some sort of range caster class, which that's the role I'm filling, plus I'm also filling sort of a secondary close range damage dealer. It's good to have that close range damage dealer, which is going to be Lae'zel, and essentially also Asterion. Once I get him, he'll be the assassin damage. She'll be just that straight up tank fighter. It's good to have a support for the basically crowd control and buffing and debuffing of enemies. So that's what the role that Shadowheart is going to play. So that's a good team comp right there. We're covering some good bases. But let's go engage in this fight. They're gonna dash at me. So if an enemy uses dash, that's going to take up their action. So they won't be able to attack on the same turn they use dash. Unless they have like a bonus action attack.
One strike could prove lethal.
There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this action search so I can get an extra hit. And just knock him out. Perfect. That's one down already. Position her there just in case. I'm gonna attack this one. A 6, not terrible. Can we push it? Awesome. And turn, I'm actually going to throw an item because I have a couple. This does 1 damage. This is 1 for... This will actually pull them in like that and do damage. So that's not a bad one to use. And now they have to dash back again, so they'll get close and they still can't attack. So that's kind of just a strategy that kind of goes into what I just did. I figured that pulling them away from us would cause them to have to dash again. So basically, we got away scot-free without them being able to attack us just from me throwing that one thing. I probably could have killed one of them by using my skill, but now on this turn, we can kill both of them and we'll take no damage. So strategy is always good to kind of keep in mind. And then just attack him, and then I'll attack it. And of course I miss, so I'll use my bonus action flourish. Hopefully that'll hit. Hit a 0, but I knocked him out, so that's good. But we'll kill him, and I'll get Darkland's Blessing. And then we'll loot their bodies. So yeah, but that's just kind of a way that you can do it. I could have also sneaked and then threw something at that, which would have caused an explosion, which would have probably knocked out 2 of them. There's a couple ways you can approach things. Ooh, 51 gold. Rich. Grab this. Some more throwables, grenades, things like that. Go over here, get this chest. Diluted oil of sharpness. I will take that. We'll take that. I'm kind of curious if we can dip our blade in this. Must be a dippable surface. So I can't dip it in this strange purple liquid. That sucks. Alright, let's go get a Starion. Let's go get a Starion. Another fun thing about this game is there's not always like, you don't always have to go this straightforward path. So like this is a locked chest. So I could sit here and I can try and lockpick it, but I'm not a lockpick. It's not a hard chest to pick, but so I probably could lockpick it. But you also notice that it's just a wooden trunk. It only has 4 health. So I can easily just attack it and fail. Let me try attacking again and just break it open, thus negating the whole need to lockpick it, and I still get whatever in it. So if you come across locked doors, like some of them you can basically just break down anyways. So even if I didn't have a lockpick, if I had someone who was strong enough to just break doors, I could just go that route, just bust my way in everywhere. Some doors can't be broken into though, like iron gates can't break iron gates, so you would need a lockpick for those sort of situations. So it's still good to have on your team, but for whatever reason, if you don't at that time or you fail the lockpick and you just can't get it and it's a breakable door, just keep that in mind. Do I want to do a long rest? No. Let me grab a Starion and then before I'll grab a Starion, then I'll do my long rest and we'll go from there. Anything over here? Yes. There's also a hidden path down here, which you can take. So we are going to jump down. And this is another just neat thing, like, here you go, hidden path. If you never would have walked over here and never would have saw that, you probably would have missed it. But now that we're here,
Deep grooves in the mud around that rock.
there we go. Said that there's something under that rock, so I'm going to switch to my strength.
Eager for battle.
User, move the rock,
Blade at the ready.
and there you go. An ornate chest hidden under a rock. Grab that. This is just read, and it's called cash. Perfect.
One move ahead.
So we got some extra loot by taking the side path. And then we can jump up here. So jumping is super useful in this game, and you can get skills that increase the amount of range you can jump. You can get skills that make it to where you can fly. So I mean, there's so many ways of traversal that you're gonna want to utilize so you can find secrets.
I've got one of those brain things there, in the grass. You can kill it. There. Can you see it?
Just a dumb boar. You're relieved until you see the flash of a dagger.
Don't we? I saw you on the ship. Free, scuttling about. You're in league with them, aren't you? Those tentacle... Ah!
Your mind twists. You're looking out of unfamiliar eyes, prowling dark, busy streets. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm. The light, the fear.
What was that? What's going on? The worm. And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your... a kindred spirit. My name's Astarion. I was in Baldur's Gate when those beasts snatched me. A pleasure. So, do you know anything about these worms? Turn us into... Of course it'll turn me into a monster. What else did I expect? Although, it hasn't happened yet. If we can find an expert, someone that can control the... You know, I was ready, and you seem like all right.
And there we go. I've got my full party now. Let's go ahead and get him leveled up, and then we'll take our long rest and get everybody healed up and all that fun jazz. Plus, I got some items back in my camp because I got the deluxe edition that I'll go grab. He just gets 17 health, and then he gets bonus actions, which are really nice for stealth and stuff like that. So, always good to have a Astarion on your team. So let's go ahead and we're going to set up camp. I want to go get my chest.
I love surprises.
Which, nothing game breaking, it's just kind of little nice items if you played Divinity Original Sin 2. It's just a little bit of Easter eggs. This is Fane's shapeshifter mask. And then you have Cape of the Red Prince, which was the lizard man. You have Lose's loot. You have Beast's hat. And then you have, I can't remember her name's Needle. But fun stuff. I'm going to grab the needle, give it to Astarion. He can dual wield daggers. Don't know if I'll personally wear the cape, but why not? Let's cape it up, and then I want all of this because it's just extra camp supplies, so it's nice to have. And I'll leave that in there for now. This chest will always be here. And when you're traversing through the world and you're like kind of running full and stuff, you can send stuff to your camp from anywhere, and then it'll end up in this chest. So you never feel like you can't pick something up because you're over encumbered or something like that. You could always just send it back to your camp. So now that we're here, I want to do quick save. F5. F5 is a quick save your game. Always F5, honestly. Before any encounter, before you talk to someone, it's always a good idea to F5. You never know if you're going to fail a check that you may want to retry, or you're going to fail a battle. You don't want to get, sent back to your last save point. So just really get into the habit of hitting F5 for the quick save. It takes 2 seconds and then you're golden. And then F8 is to quickly reload your last quick save. So 2 keys you'll hopefully get very familiar with. Yes, I do want a long rest. And then, so when you're doing your long rest, this is kind of when you can interact with your camp members. So you'll go around and they'll have like exclamations above their head. So I think it's just Lae'zel who wants to talk to us.
A monster forms inside us, and you think to
And
be
she's
idle.
gonna complain about it, of
I knew
course.
your kind to be fragile, but I didn't foresee the severity. Be quick about your rest. We must locate a crash.
Yeah. Don't get so angry.
You would doubt. I do not trust a common healer to extract a gate tadpole without killing its host. Take your should a single tentacle.
Yeah. Just angry. She's always angry. Someone in my camp still wish. Oh, here we go. Let me go talk to Shadowheart.
What were you two talking about?
Nosy. God, one is angry, one's nosy. Women. Jesus Christ.
I see. I'd be careful with Lae'zel.
Just a trouble starter. Look at that. You like to stir things up.
I was merely making an observation. You seem reliable. I think you know how important it is that we find someone who can cure us. That's good. We might even get lucky and find one right away. As I see it, we're overdue some good fortune. Rest well.
Crazy. But they're my teammates. What you gonna do? Let's hit the hay. This, just do auto select and it'll auto select whatever will get you closest to 40. You also have supply packs where you can just click a supply pack and that's just a full thing anyways. But we gathered some fish and stuff from our journey, so we're gonna have to use that. We'll get our full rest in.
It is a fitful night, haunted by the bitter memories of the past. Memories of your father, Grand Duke Uldo Ravengard, and his diplomatic mission to Elturel. Memories of the diabolical bargain you made to save Baldur's Gate in his absence. Memories of your father casting you, his Hell's-touched son, out of your beloved city.
My poor little pupster. A free trip on a mind flare machine, and all you've got is a brain bug to show for it. You missed me. How sweet. The best bloodhounds are always the most loyal. Sweet spot you've found for yourself. But I wouldn't get too cozy. After all, we've got a deal.
Another memory seizes your mind. You race through the burning wastes of Avernus. Just ahead, the diabolical figure called Harlack cuts through demonic invaders, her single horn blazing in flame. You are the hunter, and she is your prey.
Wrong on both counts, pet. Karlach's not just the Hell's problem now. She fled Avernus on the same ship you hitched a ride on. Wild little thing. You don't find her and cut her down, she'll burn the whole coast to ash. And I know the famed Blade of Frontiers would never stand for that. I won't lie, pet. You drew a lousy hand. But folding's not an option when your soul's on the line. Good boys get treats. Bad boys? Well, let's not think about that till we need to. Be a good boy. Bring me her head for dessert. I have a sweet tooth. And devils on the menu.
And that was our long rest. So everybody's been fully healed, everybody's gotten their spell slots back, etc, etc. You'll also have actions that end after a long rest, so you'll need to put those back on. Speak with animals being one of them. So just always remember to recast that on yourself, just so you have it as a passive. And I think we are good. I'm gonna go ahead and hit F5 here. And this is actually where I'm gonna end the stream for tonight. We streamed for about, not too bad, hour and 20 or so minutes. Not a bad stream. We finally got our team together, and I think this is a good stopping point for now. So I will see you guys at the next one. Thanks for watching the stream. Peace.